Tarawa. Some people call it Tarawa. I call it Tarawa. We, of course, had the Navy start bombarding this island, shelling it, and Navy planes were bombing. And at this time, of course, I sort of had a feeling that I felt sorry for the Japanese. I thought we were wiping them out. In my Marine Corps earlier days, I was always taught that when you're looking around, get your view on what you want to see, and then duck down and come up in another place. And this I had just done, and I started to duck down when, wham, a bullet hit me and went right through the helmet. So anyway, all it did was it cut a little place in the top of my head, and I went over to Corpsman, and they put a little bandage on it, and I was back in action again. So the pilots, later on after we captured the airstrip that came in, and a lot of the pilots got airsick from coming in on their bombing raids. They'd be 1,000 feet in the air, and they could smell the odor from the dead bodies. It was terrible. But you do get used to it. In fact, a buddy of mine and I were sitting on a little mound there about close to the end of the battle, and we were eating our lunch out of a little tin can, and I felt something move here in the sand, and I looked down, and the Japanese hand was coming up out of the sand, and this friend of mine, Bill Leonard, just took that old hand, pushed it back down the sand, and went on eating. It'll take your appetite. Oh, a lot of wounded Marines and dead bodies floating in the water, and I was in the water, and I came up on one Marine. He'd been shot right between his both eyes. He'd lost his eyesight. And of course, blood was just pouring out, and he wanted help. And there was nothing I could do. I was leaving about 150 Marines behind me, and I couldn't help the poor fellow. But I was yelling for a corpsman. You know, eventually they get to him. But I'll never forget that, and I've often wondered if the old boy died in the water.